Hello, am I audible?
Hello, yeah, Adarsh.
Okay, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to this session. We'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes more, right? So it's only 21 participants. I guess more participants will be joining. So we'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes more, and then we can start. So just wanted to know if there was any other session before this session. Any one of you has joined, knows about it? Any other session before this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're not getting participants probably because of that. So we'll wait 1 or 2 minutes. We'll start with that. Okay, so it was DBMS sessions that is going on, right? Okay. Yeah, so won't wait for 10 to 15 minutes more. It's okay. It's not, we cannot wait for that long, but yeah, I guess we'll start now. So welcome everyone. Good morning. And the agenda for this session, generally we have this session as open session, right? Where we can discuss about everything that has been taught till now. So starting from week 1 till whatever week it is, right? So this week 5 now. So it will be an open session to that. But since tomorrow you all have quiz, right? So we'll be focusing on that more, talking about weeks 1 to 4 mostly, and then we'll also go through the questions of mock, right? So I'll give some explanation, a short explanation for every question, so that you understand what we need to do, how we need to think, all right? And then it will help you with tomorrow's paper. So that is the thing. Okay, that is the idea. Yeah, so the DBMS session that is going on is again, so tomorrow there is quiz for that also, right? Okay, but okay, 27 is still a good number. We can start. Before I go with all the questions and all in the mock paper that is given, anything specific that you need to discuss on? Or if not now, currently, what we can do is I'll go with the content, and then maybe you can come up with the doubts later. Okay, so I'll simply share my screen. Okay, I'll have to share the entire screen probably. Just give me a minute, okay? Yeah, so my screen must be visible to you all, right? And can you see the interface for mock?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, so we'll go by question by question, one by one, and some question can take some time. Some questions will be really easy. Okay, so we won't invest a lot of time in each and every question. And if there are any discussion that is related to a particular question, just unmute yourself and you can ask your questions, right? So we'll try to clear it in that sense. Okay, so starting with the first question, which of the following options is correct regarding statement 1 and statement 2? Okay, so it says that the controller is responsible for taking data from the model and giving it to the view to present it. Obviously, right? So that is what controller does. So when we talk about MVC model, and let's take the second statement also. So the controller is responsible for taking the data from the view and giving it to the model to perform certain actions. Okay, so yeah, so this statement is also correct. So what generally controller does is, so it acts as an intermediate body between the view and controller. Okay, that holds the business logic and sorry, view and model, and it holds the business logic, and it knows what to ask view to display and what to store in the model, okay, in the database. Okay, and to it see what it says is giving it to the model to perform certain actions. So yeah, there are certain actions that can be performed by the model. Okay, and then that is stored in the model itself, that is in the database that is lying inside the model. So yeah, so controller acts like the link between the view and the model. So here we can say that both the statements are correct. Okay, then which of the following is our valid IPv4 addresses? Any issues in this question? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Adarsh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so no issues in this question.
Sir, this is for IPv4 and for IPv6 version 6. If that's asked, then the last option would come right, like
Yeah. Okay, so what you're saying is, if had
yeah,
it been IPv6, last option would have been correct.
yeah.
Yeah, so last is
Along
correct.
along with it, it will have the what to say hexadecimal thing in it, and also the 4 things would come, like 4.
Yeah. So the last option which you're saying is it is a valid IPv6 address. So how do we know that it is a valid IPv6 address? It is an hexadecimal digit, okay, separated by four digits. So
Digits, yeah.
don't get confused between digits and bits. Okay, so this is 32-bit long. All right, so 95CD is 32-bit long. All right, because an IPv6 address is by itself 128-bit long.
120. Okay.
Okay, and then IPv4 address is only 32-bit long.
Okay.
And you can guess how it is happening. See, it's 192, right? Which number or what kind of numbers do we represent by 3-digit or 3 bits? Let me talk about option number 1. So what kind of numbers, what number, what representation would it be?
Decimal.
Okay, decimal.
Or
We are
octet.
representing it by 3-digit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3-digit number should be an octal, 3-digit, right? 2 raised to
Yeah,
power 3.
it can be octal.
Okay, yeah. So this is the octal representation, and we are having like 8 bits, right? So 8888. That's how it goes to 32 bits, the complete address. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now when I say 8 bits, there has to be an upper limit to what we can add, right? So if
Yeah.
we go to 8-bit, and if I okay, should I go with this? Okay, just a minute. Okay. Yeah. So can you see the whiteboard here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
when I talk about 8 bits, all right. So there has to be upper bound. So there has to be a maximum number it can represent. All right. So if this is, so when we talked about number system, we saw that how to represent what is the place value. Okay, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, what is 2 raised to power 7?
128.
Yeah, so it's 128, right? 128. And so if I so what we need to see here is this numbers, where are those numbers? Just a minute. Hmm. So these numbers have an upper bound. Okay, so if you see here, if you are putting 8 bits, see, there is no point in putting 2 raised to power 0. Okay, 2 raised to power 0 or 2 raised to power 1 or something like that. Okay, if we go to representing all the total bits in 8 bits, okay, how many can we represent?
256.
256, right? So if
2
we
to
go
the
on
power 8.
represent, yes,
-1.
yeah. So I will come to that. So total will go to 2 raised to power 8. 2 raised to power 7, what we got initially is starting from 0 to 7. Okay, so actually how many numbers we are having? 8, right? Total numbers that we are having depends on the number of bits. Okay, so if we go to 2 raised to power 8, that is 256. Okay, but we are starting the numbers. So total we are having numbers that can be represented by 8 bits are 256. Okay, but why -1? Because we are considering the 0 also. Okay, so from 0 to 255 is 256 total. Okay, we are not starting our counting from 1. We're starting it from 0. So it's 0, so 0 to 255 is 256. Okay, so if 255 is the upper bound, we cannot have numbers something like this, 261. Okay, therefore this, yes,
Hello, sir.
yeah.
So the four numbers separated by dot, these are octal numbers in octal number represented in decimal format, right?
No, they are octal numbers.
Uh, but octal number, but sir, octal number is 0 to 7. Uh,
Mhm.
like the base is 0 to 7,
Okay,
but
yeah,
39, like 39 can be valid representation. So how can it be?
yeah, correct. See, what we are saying is, you're saying that these numbers 192.168, these are all decimal numbers. Okay,
Yes, sir. That's why I'm asking.
okay. And no. So what I'm saying is these are when we represent a number with 3 bits. When we represent a number with 3 bits, it should be an octal representation because we are taking 2 raised to power 3. Okay, so it should be
Okay.
a 3 bits. Okay, but what actually we are doing is we are taking these numbers. Let's say I have a number 1011000011. Okay, so this is binary representation. So if I'm converting it in the form of 2 raised to power 7 plus like this, okay, the way I showed how to convert into to write it in the decimal. So these will definitely give me a decimal number only.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Got
so
it,
the
sir.
number that is represented that you can see here, it is a decimal number. What I'm saying is these 3-digit number is a representation of octal number. Okay, that is the reason we call it as an octet. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay.
Got it.
Now, yeah, go ahead.
And the for the IPv6 that are directly hexadecimal.
Yeah, so it is an hexadecimal number. Don't have to worry
Yes.
about it. All right.
Yes.
The only see the problem comes when we just a minute. Yeah. So when we see this number, we can say that okay, this looks like an hexadecimal number. All right, it has to be an IPv6 address. Okay, but when we see this type of number, we might get confused as to why is it wrong. All right, but the thing is we need to also look at the upper bound. Okay, the maximum number that can be represented. So it will range. See this number, this 261, it is called as an octet. Okay, and this dot is also called as a period. Okay, so then there are 4 octets, so like that. So what is the limit that I can provide for an octet? That is from 0 to 255. Okay, if that is the case, 261 is not a valid number. Okay, that is the reason this is not a valid IPv4 address. Okay, and this number is by itself IPv6, right? So our correct options would be this and this, because see, if you see here, all the numbers come within that range. Okay, so this 0 to 255 range is the range for each octet. Okay, not the entire number, 32-bit, for each octet. All right, so that is the correct answer. Option 2 and option 3 would correctly represent valid IPv4 addresses. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, in one more doubt, sir. In IPv6, we represent zero. We don't write zero, but we keep just the dot, right? Like the period, or what do you say?
IPv4 is it?
No, in V6.
Okay.
Yeah, but in V4, we just put the zero, right? That's
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah, these are just representation.
Okay.
Okay, so see, what I'm trying to say here is, let's say, again, we'll go to whiteboard. Okay, so if we have a resource, we have a resource on web. Okay, this resource on web has a unique address. Okay, it is having a unique address. Okay, but this unique address can have multiple representations. Okay, so one of those representations, or one of those representations can be, it can be either an IPv4 or IPv6. Okay, these both are interchangeable to a certain limit. Why? Because IPv6 has, since it is a 128-bit and this is only 32-bit, there has to be certain limitations of IPv4 address, right? So we can represent only some quite less number of addresses that we can do in IPv6. Okay, so not every IPv6 can be represented by IPv4, but you can say that all IPv4 addresses can be represented in the form of IPv6. Okay, so these are just conversions. At the end of the day, what will happen? You'll come with an IP address. Okay, some IP address, and I will say that this is an IPv6 address. Okay, so while converting this or while trying to comprehend what this address direct to, I'll definitely go to this resource. Okay, now again, if I have an IP address and I say that it is an IPv4 address, now if I try to comprehend it, again I'll go to resource, because the resource or the address, the location of that address or resource was same, only the representation was different. Okay, so this is the thing. Now you represent one with dots, one with zero, you represent other with colons and all. That is all the rules, how we visually separate out these two addresses. Okay, so that is only the diff.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I got a hand raised. Somebody raised the hand. You can unmute yourself and ask.
Sir, it was by mistake.
Okay, so was it Bhavya? You did it by mistake.
Sir, I have another question for, I have a doubt related to this question only. If the question said IPv6 addresses instead of valid IPv4, only the last option would be correct?
Yes, only the last option will be correct.
Okay, so IPv4 and IPv6 cannot, like, one is not a subset of the other, right?
No, it's not subset. It is representation. It's like, see, I'll tell you. Again. So it's like, even if you have an IPv4 address, okay, and this IPv4 address can be in the range of IPv6, but it still needs to be converted into IPv6. Okay, because an IPv4 address by any means will have numbers from 0 to 255, and these are all decimal representation. But an IPv6 will have numbers from 0 to F, 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 all hex. Okay, so this conversion has to be made. Okay, and then when you move from one number system to another number system, you also need to take care about the grouping, right? So these three numbers had three grouping. For hexadecimal, you need to take care about the grouping in 4. And what number do we group in? The binary numbers. So these numbers have to be converted into binary. okay, then grouped and then converted into hex.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Right. So they both, you cannot say that a number that looks like an IPv4 can be a valid IPv6 address. Yeah, it can be represented into.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so that is the
Hello,
difference.
sir.
Yeah.
So it's not like a thumb rule that IPv6 is always represented in hexadecimal. It's not like a thumb rule, right?
It is represented in hexadecimal.
Okay, but we can keep it in binary format as well, right?
Yeah, you can keep it in binary format, but it is a 128-bit long, okay?
Right, good.
It is a 128-bit long, so need to be representation in hex is quite easier.
Okay. So each four are 128, right?
Each four as in?
Basically four
Each
No,
number between
each,
two colon.
oh, each number between two colon, you count. How many are these? This is, so if I write F, 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 F. Okay, so F, or this complete will be how much? Count. So see, if you want to convert an F into binary, it will be a 4-digit number.
Right.
Right. So these are 4 such numbers we are having. So it will be 16.
Yes.
Okay. So each 4 represents 16 numbers and we have 6 of those. So I guess 6 into 16 is 128.
Okay. Right.
I'm not sure about this.
How do we have six? How do we have six again?
I guess it's 96. Okay. So it's not 128. It's 96. It's not like that. Okay. So how do we have 6? What did you ask?
Yeah. How do we? How did you have six there? 16
No.
understood.
No, 16 is you understood 16, right? So
Yeah.
just the way IPv4 has 4 octets.
Right.
Okay, IPv6 has 6 groups.
Okay. Right. Got it.
Okay, and each is represented with 16-bit.
Sir, it's 8, no?
What about it?
The number colon number. So there are 8 numbers.
Sorry, it's 8. Yes, it's 8. Yeah, so that is how we have 120. It's 8. Sorry, it's not 6. I got see this IPv6 now. I took this 6 to 6. You don't have to get confused, right? It is IPv6, but it has 8 groups. Okay. So yeah, so that was the thing. You don't have to worry about these addresses a lot because we'll be working mostly with IPv4. Okay, and that too very basic. This one. Okay, don't have to. This is one that you need to remember, and the other is your own IP. Your own.
So, sir, just one question here. In IPv4, if we have 4 octet, okay, like 192.161.163.20.
Yes.
So, if we convert to IPv6, all those 4 octet will shrink to the first octet itself, or again we will have every octet. We will just change the representation.
No, we'll just change the representation. See what is happening here. This
Yeah,
128.
This correct.
This 127. Okay, it is a decimal representation. You need to convert it into a binary. All right.
Correct.
Binary. Okay, and you will come you have to convert it into 8-bit binary. Why? Because an IPv4 address is 32-bit. All right. So
Right.
each octet has, that is the reason we are calling it octet, because it is an 8-bit. Okay, so you have need to convert, even though it is 0, you have to write 0 8 times.
Right.
Okay, so you need to convert it into binary. Okay, now that binary has to be converted into groups of 4. So let's say you'll have a 32-bit address, right? You convert this, how many groups you should convert to get a number that is 8? You need to divide this by 8, or you need to divide this by 4. Okay, because we know that IPv6 address is 8 groups.
Correct.
Right, so this 32-bit divided into 8 groups, we get 4. Okay, so this entire 32 bit will be will be converted into 8 smaller groups. Okay, 8 smaller groups. Okay, each will be having a 4-bit number, right? This 4-bit number can be completed, has to be converted into hex. Okay, and then you will see that when this, see how many, if each 4-bit number is converted into one hex, okay, I'll have only 8 hex numbers. Okay, let's say it got converted into
Yeah, my
F1,
question
2,
was,
3, A,
so
B, C, D. Okay, so
okay,
these F1, 2, 3 and A, B, C, D represent only the last two groups of the entire IPv6 address. Okay, rest you can give as 0, 0, something like that. Okay, and then there are, as we have seen in encoding, right? So there is not only the conversion, but there is interpretation of that. Okay, so we have this last second bit as FFFF. I don't know the exact significance of that currently, but there is certain interpretation to that. Okay, so even if your address gets resolved within these two groups, you'll have certain groups like FFFF, 0, and others. Okay, if you want to check, you can simply search on IPv4 to IPv6 conversion. Okay, then you can try converting one of your addresses IPv4 into IPv6. What you will see that most of most of it will get culminated between the last two groups itself of IPv6. Okay, don't have to bother about that much. We'll mostly talk about IPv4 addresses. It's just for the knowledge that there is something called IPv6, and it has a much longer range than IPv4 itself. Okay, much other advantages than IPv4. Okay, what you need to remember is this one. Okay, your own IP, and both of those, this one and your own IP, are called as localhost. Okay, so by any chance, if you forget your own IP address, doesn't matter. Is this clear? Shall we move ahead?
yeah.
Okay.
Hello,
So,
sir.
yeah.
Sir, can you explain the question number 12 of week 2 practice assignment?
Yeah, I'll go to that. Let me finish mock, okay?
Okay.
Question number 12 of week 2 practice assignment is conversion, right?
That
It's
UTF-8.
conversion, UTF-8, okay. Actually, there are, I've explained that question in 2 of the live sessions.
2 or 3, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So the thing is, if we have time, I'll go to it again. Okay. But if we don't have time in this session, what I'll do is I'll give you the link to the other sessions where I've covered that part in complete detail.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. You might also have the playlist, right? So you can go to either a open session of week 2, open session of week 2, or live
So
session of week.
sir, it's in the first live session of week 2.
First live session, yeah. So it is live session of week 2 and open session of week 2. Also, I've given a smaller explanation where we talked about conversions and all, right, number system.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if it is possible, I'll give you a very quick recap. Otherwise, you have the entire video to look at it. Okay, I'll share the link.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go to next question. Yeah. So yeah, any doubt in this question?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is fine, right? So what we come to know that curl is a command. 8080 is nothing but port. HTTP is protocol, and localhost is the host.
Hello, sir. I
Adarsh,
cannot.
yeah, are you sharing your screen? Because
I'm sharing my screen. Is it not
only
available?
no, only the whiteboard is appearing instead.
Okay. Is it just a minute? Yeah. Is it visible now? The
Yeah.
mock screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess no issues with this. So generally, how do we write? This is the request, right? This is the way we write request. So this part is curl where this is the command, right? So this when I want to hit a URL, what we do it, we give it on the browser, right? The URL part of the browser. But if I don't want to do that, I want to go into more details of how the request and response are taken. What we can do is we have to do by curl. Okay, so this command, what it does is it runs it request with this it requests resources to this IP address or this URL. Okay, and then this is how it is done. Okay, so whatever is written here, sorry, wanted to highlight only this part. Yeah, so whatever written here is a typical curl request. Okay, and these are the components of what a request comprises of. Okay, any doubt here? So we'll talk about this more.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can you tell about the what is the difference between domain and hosting in short, just one or two lines?
Domain and hosting.
Yeah, I mean there is a host name, and what is the difference between host name and in the URL components? What is the difference between what is the host and what is the domain?
Domain is host, as far as I can tell.
Okay, so both are same or?
No, so the thing is, every domain is a host. Why? Because see, when you go to www.google.com, your Google is your host. Okay, you're requesting resource from Google.
Okay. Okay.
Right? And what is Google actually? It is a domain name or representation of its IP address.
Okay. Okay.
Right, so that is what it is. That is the reason. See, when we work on something on locally on our machine, what do we call it? Local host. Okay,
Yes.
a server
Yes.
serving your files locally.
And the google.com, that is the host name is the google.com also, right?
Yeah, it is the domain name actually. The host is Google.
Okay,
domain name is google.com.
Okay, and the last part, the .com, what is it said?
.com, yeah, it is actually the domain. What we call it?
Subdomain. Subdomain.
Yeah, is subdomain.
Okay. Commercial, for commercial purpose.
Yes, for commercial. Yeah, I wasn't exactly remembering what it is called. All right.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Got it.
Yeah, so whatever is written here between this port, before port and after forward slashes is the place from where you're requesting resource. Okay, and then you give more details about the path and parameters and things like that. Yeah, is this clear? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay, next. Questions in controversies. What is the difference between get and head HTTP request methods? Okay, so there were so many questions on this, like since it is descriptive, how it is going to be evaluated and things like that. All right, yeah. So see, any descriptive question is evaluated manually. Okay, we go through your responses one by one. Okay, and every response is specific. So marks allotted to every response are specific to that response. Okay, so we don't say that okay, if this is there, give 1 mark. If this is there, give 2 marks. No, it depends on the response itself. Okay, what we are expecting as an answer. Okay, so let's say this get and head. Okay, there is only one common difference. If you mention that, you'll give the complete marks. Okay, if you don't mention that and you write other things about get and head, you won't get marks. Okay, and if you are like writing things half correct, you'll get partial marks. That is the thing.
Hello, sir. In the answer given in this question, that was a long line, but I searched that in different resources in MDN docs. In two different web pages, there were two different answer. Like I mean, a different the same answer in two different types. So if I just say that get get delivers the response, and head HTTP delivers the response without the body, is that enough, or
that is
I have to
completely fine.
explain?
That is, yeah, that is enough.
Okay.
Okay, because that is the core difference. Okay, there are other differences in get and head, but the core main difference is what? The response of get has a body, but the responsive head does not have body. Okay, if that is mentioned in any, like in your language, if we can, come to that conclusion, okay, this response is that, we will say that it is correct. Okay.
Okay, got it, sir.
Okay, so we'll go into some details of this question. Okay,
Yes, sir.
let me share my screen. Just a minute. Yeah, so my screen is visible, right? I'll directly share it. So if I open VS Code, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
So see, this VS Code, there is a file called app.py. Okay, well, you don't have to worry what this file is currently. It is simply the Flask application. Okay, simple Flask application. What it does, now that you are working with week 5 lab assignment, I'm sure what it does is very clear. All right, it is simply returning an HTML with hello world. Okay, let me change this to H1. Okay, I just want some more. Okay, so this is my app.py. All right, now if I want to run this application or this app that I've created, I'll try to open it with the help of terminal. Okay, so this is, we opened the terminal here. Okay, I'm doing all in Windows. You don't have to worry about what terminal I'm using. Most of our, most of us are working with Windows, right? So it will be it will be similar in all the operating systems. Okay, so I opened this terminal. Okay, now I'll run this application here. Okay, how will I run this? Simply write Python app.py. So you can see that we are in the same folder. Okay, mock quiz 1. So now this application is running. Okay, now one way to see what my application written is, simply open this. Okay, copy this part, because this is the URL where my server is serving the resource. Okay, yeah, see this, can you see this? This is IPv4 to IPv6 converter. Okay, I just searched on the net and I got this. Okay, so this is how you get converted. Okay, and this is what I meant by, I'm sure if it is visible to you, just a minute. This is what I meant with zeros and F's. So this is certain interpretation of that. Okay, I'm not recommending or saying that this is the only site. You can go with multiple sites. All right. Okay, so I'll just write this command, oh sorry, this URL here, and what do I get? Hello world. Okay, this is one way of doing it. Okay, and if I go to inspect, okay, and network, let me reload this. Okay, so can you see this part of it? Just a minute, I'll just zoom it a bit. Okay, that thing is getting zoomed. No, it doesn't matter. Okay, so if you see this, the request method is get. Okay, the remote address is this, and these are the headers. These are the headers. Okay, and there is also the content, right? If you see in the response, okay, this is the content. Okay, this is the preview. Okay, so these are all the headers. Okay, now if I want to do it, I want to get the difference between how exactly get and head are working, I'll go through this part. Okay, I'll open a new terminal again in the same folder. Okay, this is the new terminal in the same folder, because see, one terminal is running my application. So if I want to do any other thing on the same folder, I need to open another terminal. Okay, so what I'll do is, I'll do the same thing with the help of curl. Okay, curl. Again, I'm pasting same URL. Let me see what happens. Yeah, see, what it returns is actually the content of that URL. Can you see this? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now it should be. All right, so what it is returning, it is returning the actual content. Okay, now if I want to see what actually the header returns, I'll do the same thing, but with a small extension of minus I. Okay, what I've written minus I or hyphen I, not minus exactly, hyphen I. Okay, see what it returns. Okay, so I'm not getting what type of content it is, what is the content, but I'm getting all the other information, which is nothing but the heading information. Okay, the content type is text HTML, content length is 22. Okay, and things like other things like server and Python and all. Okay, but I'm not getting the actual content. Okay, and here I got only the content. How will I, if I want, so why is this showing the content? Because this is happening by get request, this part. Okay, and why I'm not getting content? Because this is happening by the head. Okay, because this minus I or hyphen I represents that I'm giving the curl command and I'm expecting the response to come with head method. Okay, other way of doing it is hyphen HEAD. Okay, same thing will come up. Okay, so this is head. Now I want my header information and all the content also. Okay, what information should I give? What method should I use? I should use get. Okay, but using get was giving me only the content, not the header information. So to get that, what I'll do is I'll write this. If I'm not mentioning anything, it is by default get. All right. So in order to get the content also, the entire information, I'll just give hyphen v. So hyphen v represents the verbose, okay, which means more detailed information. And if you see this, what you get is, see, it is giving more information where this is the head. Sorry, this is the telling me about the methods. Okay, these are other information which came with get. Okay, and this is the content. Right. So everything I'm getting. So this is the body actually. Right. So everything I'm getting with get, but I could not get this by head. Okay. So this is the difference, and you don't need to mention this in your answer. No issues. No need to mention this. The correct answer would be the response of get involves body. The response of head does not involve body. It is only header. That's it. Okay. But this is just to give an information what actually the response or what actually the server is returning to me, depending on what method I'm asking it to return to. All right. I guess this part is clear.
Sir, is there a similar command for returning only body?
Similar command for returning only body. I did that, right? See, if you do this without verbose, what you get is only body.
Okay. Okay. Right.
Verbose is giving you the entire information. See, this information, what you are getting is similar to here, this part.
Right.
Okay. So this is what it is returning. This is all the header information, but the actual content is from the preview or response.
Got it.
Okay. That is what we have done with the help of command prompt. Nothing else. Okay. Simply giving the curl and the URL you're hitting, it will take the get method and return the content only.
Yes.
Okay. So get will not give header and head will not give body. No, get is giving everything. No? That is what I said. See, every information is the get is giving me, including the body and the header. Right? 80. All right. Yeah. And the put request will send information to the server. See, information is sent to the server by both put method, delete method, and post method. Okay. Put method is generally used to update that resource. Okay. So when you, let's say this is this hello world, right? If I want to update this, my server will also ask me, okay, you want to update this content, but by what? So that data, along with saying that to the server that I want to update, you do put. Okay. Now, if you want to add more data, but add what data, that you need to do with the help of post. Okay. So that is the difference. Is this clear, Snehal? Put request is sending information, but that is for updation. Okay, you didn't get it. See, what is happening? Okay, we'll look at it into more details later, but see. So this is a get request. Okay, you forget about this, whatever was coming, you just pay attention to this. Okay, this is the get request. This is the response. Okay, the information that server provided when I hit this URL. Okay, the response. Okay, so this is the actual resource or actual content of actual content that is residing at this URL. Okay, but now I want to add some more content to this. Okay, add some more content to this, but I don't have the, don't want to go to the source code, but I want to add more content. How will I do that? With the help of post. Okay, why? Because I need to tell server that I want to add content, give some information from my side to you, and also tell that server, okay, you need to add this content and represent it the way you're representing this content. Okay, so for that you need to use post, because you are sending information to the server. Okay, now, so this is clear about post, right? So post is to append content. Yeah, you can call it. In this case particularly, because generally when we saw about in the solve with instructor session of week 4, we posted information through forms, right? So that is the entirely new information every time we were sending to the server. Okay, here what I'm saying is I'm telling you a scenario where I want to add some information. So don't take that add information to append thing. Can be what you want to do with that information will be decided at the server side, but the idea of sending the information is done with the help of post. Okay, all right, yeah. Where does put comes in? Put comes in to actually update this data. Okay, I don't want to write it hello world, I want to write hello universe. How will the server know that you need to replace this world with universe? Okay, so there is some updation happening there. So the data along with the idea of replacing previously stored data, you do with the help of post. Sorry, put. Okay, we'll talk about it in lot detail, because we'll be coming with linking our application with the database and then talking about APIs. So there the HTTP methods are a lot more important. Okay, so this part is clear, right? So this was okay. All right, so this part is actually giving you a lot information about not only about the this thing, this question, but also how things are happening. Why have we given you this question at the first place? Okay, all right, next question. So any doubt here? Fourth question. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
If you put the head HTTP in the when you were typing in the terminal with nothing with no hyphen v, no hyphen I, this kind of thing. So it is giving the body, right? But if you put the head HTTP in the application in the VS code, then
it will give method not allowed.
Okay.
Yeah, it will give method not allowed, because see what I'm saying. What you're returning is some information. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And if you're specifying a method head, you're saying that you return some information from the method that is not ready to return any information.
Okay.
Right?
So
that's why it will tell you method not allowed.
Okay, in the application side, this get post, these are like, I mean, what is the difference between putting this get post this in the application side and in the server in the terminal side?
Same thing. See, this application is doing is this application. What does this mean actually? This means that whenever this application is running and you hit the home or what we say root URL, okay, it will take the get method with the root URL. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, it will try to fetch information from the root URL with the get method. That is what it means, these 3 lines. Okay, and these 3 lines are analogous to or similar to this one line. Okay, go to this. Okay, this, not this, also this. Yeah, go to this URL. So this is actually the root URL because this and this is same thing, right?
Okay,
This
sir. Got
and
it. Got
this
it.
is same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're doing it with the help of terminal, so that's why you're giving the command curl.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes, sir.
you get to got it, right?
Yeah. And here when we are putting hyphen I, that means in the application side we are putting that what
Yeah,
is
you
called
get the
type.
information, you get only the header. You take
Yeah.
the
Header.
head method, use head method. By head
Yes.
method by itself will return you the header, not the response. Okay.
Yes. Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. And why is the problem here with the head method? Because you're trying to return information with the help of method that does not return information.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that is the thing.
So, sir, that basically means like unless we explicitly mention post or put, we will only support get by default, right, sir?
Yeah, because get is retrieving the information. See, unless you're giving this you're giving this information because you are expecting certain information to come when you hit this URL.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, so that will happen with get. That is the reason we are not specifying get as the method. It is by default.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Right, so we have something called as method, right? So we don't do get there because it is by default. Okay, now if I put this and if I don't put a response here, what will get returned to me? Nothing. So that is the thing. Okay, shall we move ahead? I hope this part is clear.
Yes, sir.
Try to tell
Yes, sir.
certain things. Yeah, you can build on top of that. Okay, so we'll go to next question. Okay, so this one, yeah. Suppose you initiated the Python inbuilt HTTP server in a given directory that does not contain index.html in the root directory, and you send a request to HTTP this using a browser. What will be rendered by the browser? Okay. A file name index.html will be automatically be created and will be rendered. Okay. The directory listing of the given directory will be displayed. The browser will show an internal server error. Browser will show page not found. Okay, what should be the answer?
The internal server error.
Okay, why so?
Because server is running, so page not found, it will not come. The page not found is I think that when the okay, page not found is when page is not there. So
Yeah, so
it is the
index.html is not there.
Sir, it should be option B.
Okay. No, see, we try. It's not about the correct. We'll try to figure out why others are wrong. Okay. See, firstly, a file name index.html automatically be created and will be rendered is completely wrong. Why? Because we are not working with file handling here. We are not saying write something and show. Even if it creates index.html, what it will write in that? Okay. What it says, a file name index.html will be automatically created and will be rendered. What it will render? Okay, so that will not happen. Okay, the browser will show an internal server error. Why? Server is not crashing anywhere. You are not writing anything that is wrong. Okay, so internal server error will not happen. Browser will show page not found error. Okay, page not found error comes when you try for a particular page and it is not there. Okay, so here, if this URL.
Okay, so in the URL, the slash page name, that should be in the URL.
Yes, that's what. So we are searching with this URL and we are not putting asking for any page, right? So it will not say page not found error.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
What remains directory listing. Okay, so that is the reason it will show directory listing. It will see The idea that page not found error is specific when it is trying to search for a page. See, it is saying index.html is not there, that is okay. Okay, so by default, it will try index.html. But if it is not there, it will not say a page not found error because you have not created index.html. Okay.
Yes, yes.
This is the
Got
case.
it.
Things like this will happen in Flask.
And so the internal server error and server not found, what is the difference? Like
Server not
one
found.
is no, one is the 404 server not found, and another is like I think the internal server error. It is like
Yeah.
I think 500 or
Yeah. So
something.
500 range is internal server error. This is because your server crashed at some point. Okay. And page not found is because you are searching for a page as it is not there. Searching for a page means your server is doing whatever what it is intended to do. Search for a page. Server is working properly, but the page is not there. Then it will show page not found. But if the server crashes internally for some reason, it will say internal server error. Okay.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
show you an example. Let's say this app.py. Okay. This app.py, this route, okay, by base, okay, root URL is trying to return this page. Okay, everything works fine. And this route is supposed to return a page. Why? Because we are giving a get request by default, right? And it is supposed to return a page. But I'm writing none. It is not returning anything. Okay, but it should return something. But what I'm saying is don't return anything. I'm making some I'm making some contradictions into the server. Okay, if that is the case, if I'm making something that is happening in the server that should not allow the server to run properly, my server should crash. Okay, so if I see this, I go to read, it was here. Yeah, so it is showing me type error. Why it is showing type error? Why it is not showing internal server error? Because of this thing, debug. Remove this part.
Debug equal true.
Okay, internal server error. Okay, so if I run it here, see, it will show me the status code as 500. Why? Because your server crashed for some reason. All right, your server crashed for some reason. Now, if I go back to my code, all right, and then let me not create that template folder and return.
Okay, so sir, in the internal server error, that means it can locate the server is running and it can locate the server, but there is some problem in the server, right?
The server, yeah, the server is having some problem, therefore it crashed.
Okay.
Okay, so let me close this. I don't need this anymore. Yeah. So see what happened when the server crashes, it will not be able to reload any change that I'm doing here. Okay. So that is the reason this my server got crashed here. So if I make a change here, it will not save. It will not rerun. Okay. So I need to close this. And try running it again. So if I go to localhost colon 5000. 5000 is the default port of Flask. Yeah. Why am I getting not found? This is 404 because my server didn't crash. Okay, because it is returning a valid response. What it is trying to do here is returning index.html, and then it will search for index.html and it will not find index.html. All right, my server is not crashing. And also to see that why it is not crashing, I'll go to this part. If you see this See, the server is still running. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So my server didn't crash. My server was fine, but it could not find a file. That's why it returned 404. Okay. Initially, my server itself crashed. Therefore, it returned 500.
Okay. Okay.
Got it. So let's get back to that question. Yeah. So file name index.html. And now this, whatever I did this was with the help of Flask, right? We're talking about Python inbuilt HTTP server. Okay. So we'll try to do that with it. Okay. Let me close this first. I don't know why it is taking time to close. Okay. So I'll open my Python HTTP server. Okay. Yeah. So what it says is it is, and see, this is again localhost representation. Okay. Localhost representation when you do not write any number between this colons. Okay. So now this application or this server is serving on port 8000 in this. Okay. So I can reach out to localhost colon 8000.
Hello, sir. You are on mute. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. Actually, I lost my connection. That's why it is happening. Just a minute. Keep this on. Go to this part only. New. Okay. Will host 8000. Okay. Having this server open, port 8000. Yeah, it should work. You copy this. Okay, worked. Yeah. So what happened? It is showing me the directly listing for that. See, if I go to that folder, what do I have? Mock data.sqlite3, mock 122.pdf, which is the file that you are looking at, and app.py. Okay, that is what I'm looking here. Okay, so this happens specifically with Python HTTP server. Okay, now if I want to, let's see what happens if I have another file. Okay, I go to that folder and create index2.html. Index2.html. Okay, I'll use some Emmet abbreviation. Write H1. Now let us run that. Yeah, so again it will show that index2.html. It will not run it. Okay, but if I want to run this index2.html, I'll simply have to write it and it will run it. Okay, if nothing is mentioned, it will simply try to search for index.html, and then if it is there, it will render it. If it is not there, it will show you the listing. Okay, see, I cannot find index.html, but these are the things that are there. Want to render something? Tell me. That is what it is saying. Okay, so that is the thing. So if I remove this, if I kind of renamed it to simply index.html. Okay, and then if that happens, I don't need to run it separately. Only hitting the URL will do the trick. See, so it is running index.html. Okay, so if it is not there, it should show listing. Okay, so got the idea of this question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so going literally very slow. I'll space up a bit now. Okay, so how many characters can be encoded using 5 bits? Pretty simple, right? 2 raised to power 5.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so answer is 32. How many bits are required to represent IITM in ASCII? Okay, so
32.
when hello. Yeah, somebody speak. Hello.
Sir, we should consider it a 7-bit or 8-bit.
You consider it both 7-bit and 8-bit. Find the answer. Whichever matches in the option, you take that.
Okay, okay.
Okay, why? See, the thing is, that was the confusion that we see. That was the confusion. That is a very obvious confusion that one can have. Okay, so if I consider 7-bit ASCII, 7-bit ASCII, how many bit it should take? 4 into 7. Okay, 28. Okay, so it's not in the option. That is why you don't need to consider 7-bit ASCII. So if you consider it 8-bit ASCII, it is 8 4s are 32. So you can consider that. So options are also defined in a way that you get only unique answer, not multiple. Okay, let's move to next question. Let us assume a text document with word count of 500. This would be approximately, yes, Bhavya.
Sir, in one lecture, the professor had said that when we have only alphabets in our file and we wish to encode that file, then we can do it with only 5 bits from ASCII. So can't we use that logic here in the 7th question, 2 to the power 5? Or do we go by the standard 8-bit representation?
Question number, which question you're talking
7,
about?
7.
Okay. So so this is not about 2 raised to power 5. It is about, you're talking about ASCII, right? So it
Yes,
can
sir.
be either 7-bit ASCII or 8-bit ASCII. It
Okay,
is
sir.
not a variable length. Okay.
Got it, sir.
Variable length encoding might take 5 bits also, 4 bits also, 16, 32, things like that. But a fixed fixed length encoding, that is ASCII, it will either encode each digit into 7 bits or either encode each digit or each character into 8 bits. Okay.
Got it, sir. Got it. Thank
So
you.
I've given two ways in which the answer could have come when we were considering 7 bits and we were considering the 8 bits. Okay.
Got it, sir.
Yeah. So whatever sir may have said, that may be for the variable length encoding. That doesn't happen in ASCII. Okay, so let us, okay, I'll go with the next question. Let us assume a text document with word count of 500. This would be approximately 3000 characters. Okay, so I want this is the important number, and this is important number because it includes everything about word count and all. So this doesn't matter to me. Okay, so I need 3000 characters that includes alphanumeric characters and spaces. Which of the following is storage efficient way to encode a character? Okay, first we need to see, so there are 4 options, right? UCS4 encoding, ASCII encoding. So this ASCII encoding and this ASCII encoding. So if this is 7-bit, we are saying here, this should be 8-bit. Okay, and then UCS2. Okay, UCS4 takes 32-bit, UCS2 takes 16-bit. Okay, so if I look at bit point of view from each encoding, this is 32, this is 8, this is 16, and this is 7. Okay. Now I want to also now, since if we are going about storage efficient way, definitely best answer would be original 7-bit. Okay, because 7, if I go into the ascending order of bits that each encoding is using, it is 7, 8, 16, and 32, which would take the least, that is 7. Okay, that is 7. So I can very well take this original 7-bit ASCII. So this is the answer for this question. Okay, but in some question, if this question can be tweaked, okay, how can we change this question? We can change this characters in a way that ASCII 7-bit coding is no longer able to code each and every of those characters. Okay, so let's say if I am writing 3000 characters, but if I do not mention alphanumeric characters, I say alphanumeric plus Japanese characters, ASCII 7-bit, original 7-bit, or ASCII 8-bit will no longer be able to hold that data because they don't encode Japanese characters. right? So even if I'm having ascending order of 7, 8, 16, and 32, I need to discard 7 and 8. In that case, storage efficient way and a validly correctly efficient or correctly encoding way would be UCS2, right? Okay, so got the modification of this question?
So can you please explain this question once again, because uh,
Yeah.
how did yeah, please explain it once again, sir.
Okay, let me show this. Why?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Alphanumeric, does that mean only English?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So alphanumeric should include 0 to 9 numbers, A to Z in small, A to Z in capital. That's it.
No other languages, only these.
No other languages, and
Okay.
some symbols. Okay, some symbols. Okay, so if I talk about that is the reason we are specifying that we are using alphanumeric, and with that specification we are saying that all the 4 options UCS4, UCS2, 8-bit ASCII, 7-bit ASCII, all are valid encoding. You can encode this letter or whatever this content in all the 4 encoding techniques. You can do that. Okay, now which would be least or which would be most storage efficient? This one. Okay, now if I add Japanese, okay, these 8-bit ASCII and 7-bit ASCII are no longer, I'm not sure about 8-bit, but I'm sure that it will not directly add Japanese. Okay, but let's say that 8-bit ASCII and 7-bit ASCII are not able to encode, okay, Japanese. So in that case, we'll have to take shelter of these two. Okay, now I want most storage efficient, so I'll take the smaller of these two. Okay, even though there is 8-bit and 7-bit, I will still not go for them because my characters or whatever text that I've written, these both encoding techniques, this one and this one, are not capable enough to handle those characters. That's why I need to do take first the first one that is capable. So that is UCS2. Okay, in that case, so as UCS2 takes 16-bit and there are 3000 characters, this is what I get. This is 48,000 bits. So this will be my storage. Even though I will have 21,000 and 24,000, I will not take that. Got the idea, right? Yeah, you got the idea, right?
Sir, what is the significance of the 48,000 bits here?
No, nothing. Significance of 48,000 bits is this much amount of memory it should take, and then you should go with the minimum of those. So simply this is nothing but multiplying each. Okay, so 16, then 32 into 3000. Okay, then
And
7 into 3000.
And so for this example, the browser have to download this much amount of data to show the website,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We're not talking. See, we're talking about storage efficient. Okay, we're not talking about server efficient for now.
Yes, sir.
Right, so this 3000, you can see this number is nothing but a multiple 3000 times multiple of this number, so you can judge it from here itself. Okay, so the person who doesn't know much about it, who cannot judge from here, I'll have to multiply. So these things are done to waste your time. Okay.
So sir, that a count of 500 has no significance at all.
Yeah, no, because see, 500 words, what are these words actually? The length of each word, spaces given between the numbers, between the words, are they numbers? So all sorts of things come in, right?
Yes, sir.
Just to represent that there is a text which has 500 words. So this 500 word can very well be this. Okay, and you have the entire 500 word text. Okay, if I do not mention that 3000, okay, how many bits you would take? Only one. Okay.
Oh, right. Right.
1 means 8, 7 or 8, because each character is storing only 7 bits. Is being stored by 7 bits or 8 bits, right? So you'll take only 7 bits, not 48,000.
Yes,
Okay,
but
so it depends. That is the reason we're talking about the encoding. We not only talk about the actual content, but we also talks about the interpretation. Okay, a 500 word long text can be this also. In that case, you'll never come to a correct answer. That is the reason we specified that it is having 3000 characters, including spaces.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay, fine.
So basically, in these types of questions, just try to multiply and find out which one is the most storage efficient.
Yeah. Yeah, so how can we know which all characters not supported by each encoding format? You don't have to worry about it. See, this alphanumeric is basically what I wanted to represent. That is why we have 7-bit and 8-bit. Okay, everything other than this, I mean, plus everything else will be done by other encoding. Okay, so just remember this: 8-bit ASCII and 7-bit ASCII can store only this alphanumeric and some symbols. Now, if I'm saying some symbols, I'll never ask you to tell me which symbols. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, so we want the broader concept, not the entire thing. So we don't need to worry about saying that, okay, which symbol is possibly encoded with the 8-bit ASCII and things like that. No, don't worry about that. Okay. Okay, so if this is clear, we'll move ahead. Okay, Jinja. Which of the following is correct syntax to, I missed this word. Okay, which of the following is the correct syntax to check if the length of the list is equal to 10 in Jinja 2 template, right? Okay, so checking is done by double equals to. Okay, so we can discard the first and third option, right?
Yes, sir.
So first option and third option gets discarded by seeing at single equals to only. Okay, now the problem is, now if you see fourth option also, the fourth option also get discarded because we never write any filter like this in Jinja. Okay, so if you're writing it within this pair of brackets, this one and this one, it will never be like this. Okay, it will definitely come with a pipe. Okay, so you can discard fourth option. Okay, so you discarded first, you discarded third, you discarded fourth. Right answer is this.
Sir, only the SQL comparison will take a single equal, and all the other in Python, in Jinja, all the other things, the comparison will be double equal. Is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure about SQL. Yeah, but generally we check with double equals to. In JavaScript, we also use triple equals to. So don't worry about that. See, checking conditional statement generally, we'll work with Python. In Python, conditional statement come with double equals to. Okay.
But SQL is there in week 4, so that's why I asked.
Yeah, so in SQL, you will know that what query you're writing, right? And
Yes, sir.
there is no conditional statement like if and else in SQL. There is a where. Okay.
The while comparison.
Yeah. So there is where, and where we are not at all, whatever comes after where, we are not at all checking. The where itself will check.
Okay.
Right. So we are not checking by
Yes.
with the help of this. The where will check. Well, where will do that. Therefore, we'll have only single equals to in SQL. Okay, this is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
So see, what I did is here, I did not look at, okay, I should know the syntax and all. No, I did not do that. I just knew the basic things, right? The filters in SQL are done in generally this pipeline. Okay. Then comes the question of length or len, right? The confusion might come with should I use len or should I use the complete length length? But then there are other things like single equals to and double equals to, right? So I discarded from those things. Okay, then next question. What will be the output of following Python code? So I've done a lot in templating. I guess this should not be an issue, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the
Yes,
correct option would be you just check from here first, means small letters. Okay, so first, second, third, fourth. Okay, because my entire dictionary is like that. Okay, so all right, yeah. So first, second, third, fourth is there in second option and third option. So we can directly discard first and third option. Okay, it will not keep on repeating first, 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 obviously, right? The first, second, third, fourth is there in the second option and it is there in the fourth option. Again, it will not keep on repeating single uh, value television, right? So you can discard the fourth option also. So therefore, the correct option is second. Okay, so sometimes we need to play all along with the discarding also rather than coming with the exact answer. Okay, I'll move ahead. All right. Which of the following Python codes which generate the HTML code as given below? Okay, so HTML file. All right. So when I work with HTML file, generally what we need to do is definitely we'll go with the options and see if it is matching. So there will be certain changes in the option which will make them the wrong and the right, which will define the line between the wrong and the right option. All right, so we'll take only we'll check by that. So if we see, if you look closely, I guess this question is not an issue to many, right? But still I'll take in very short. Okay, so we are having a table tag. Okay, in table tag we are having tr, okay, which represents all the rows or even the headers and the data itself. Okay, then we should have th and td. Okay, and then we'll have html head and title, things like that. Okay, so in the first option, okay, importing things are done. So if I'm importing all, I don't need to write py-html.html. Okay, so these elements, okay, these elements can be directly taken as a method. We don't need to write py-html.html. Okay, so first is html, it is taking head, it is taking title, that is okay. Okay, then in the body it is taking table, okay, and it is taking tr only for table, only for headers, but even for data we need to specify that there has to be tr. Okay, so this becomes wrong, option 1. Okay, if I go to option 2, okay, html py-html is imported, so again no py-html.html, no need. So up to here, HTML head title, this is fine. In body, yeah. So if you see here, there are TR and TH and TD also has to be checked. Okay, everything cannot be TH, everything cannot be TD. You need to specify what is the actual header of that table and what is the actual data or entry of that table. Okay, so option 2 looks correct. Let's see why option 3 is wrong then. Yeah, that's what I mentioned, right? So all of them are TD. The name and address should have been th, just the way they are in this. Okay, and option 4 has all th. We cannot have only headers in the table, right? So therefore option 4 is also wrong. So we'll get with the option 2 as only correct answer. Okay, yeah, so this is more of condition, right? So this is condition, it is checking player divided by 2 or the remainder of player id, if it is 1 or not, it is checking. But this checking is not represented by this equals to action, this is represented by where. Okay, this where clause is helping it to check the condition that comes. Okay, so you don't need to worry about single and double equals to. Double equals to come in Python coding languages, and this SQL, it is taken care of by the where clause. Okay, yeah, anyone wanted to ask anything? Hello. Okay, I'll move ahead. All right, so what is actually the question? Given the table players where the column player id is a unique field associating to only one player, how can you efficiently select first 100 odd players uh, player id values from the table? So yeah, okay, so what does first query do? What does first query do? It will select players and limit 100, so it will select all the players, first 100 players from the players table. Okay, first 100 players, and it will be ordered by player id. Second, it will select all the players such that their player ID when divided by 2 gives remainder 1. That it is an odd number. Okay. Similarly, third one is the one that is the query that returns only even player ID players. Okay. So second becomes wrong because it is returning even, not the odd. Okay. And there is nothing like odd in SQL. All right. So where player ID equals to odd. No, we need to define it mathematically. Okay. If it is odd, it will take it as some field where player ID equals to odd. It will take it to some other field. Okay. So you don't, there is nothing called odd. Okay. So that's why the option 2 becomes correct. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Okay. So I guess there is no doubt in this question. Okay. As template inheritance. I think we have done this and a better example than this in the solve with instructor session, right? We have done a better example than this.
Sir, can you please
Yes.
explain this one?
Yeah, you want me to explain this?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, see what happens is when we talk about template inheritance, I'll give you with a kind of small diagram thing. Okay, so this is my whiteboard. Okay, let's say, just a minute. Let's say this is my web page. Okay, this is my one web page. This is the header part of the web page. This is the footer part. Okay, this is header. This is the main content. Okay, and this is the footer part. Okay, now I have 100 of these pages, 100 pages. Okay,
Yes,
so let me explain what is actually header, what is the main content, and what is footer. Okay, so the header generally talks about all the meta tags, stylings, script, images, fav icon, all the things that are there will come in the header part. Okay, which is common to the website. Okay, because this page into 100 will make your website. Okay, and if you navigate between the pages, if you navigate between from page 1 to page 2, this content remains same. Okay, what changes is this content. Okay, the main content of page 2 or other pages will differ from main content of 1. What remains same is a header and footer. But if you do not, what happens is for coding all those 100 pages, you keep on writing this part, you keep on coding this part. Okay, now this is simply copy paste, so doesn't matter, but it puts a load on server, because if my this part is having a .js file which is heavy. Okay, if this part is having a design which is taken from Bootstrap. Okay, it is taken from Bootstrap. For each loading of page, it will load. Okay, so that is increasing the load on the server, first thing, and that is increasing the size of my page. Okay, so that is by itself making my web page heavy. Okay, so for that, what I'll do, convert this page into 3 parts. This was my original page, right? So what I'll do, I'll make this page into this part, like this, something like this. Okay, what I'll do is, every time, now this will be my entire web page, not website. This will be my entire web page. Okay, now this is the static content which is not changing with the web page. Okay, and this is the dynamic content that is unique to that particular page. It is changing with the page. Okay, so it will be better to only render this part, right? So that is what we do with the help of render template. Okay, so we create a template. Let's say I call it a base.html as my template. Okay, and this is the file that I want to render. Let us call this as index.html. Okay, so every time what I'll do with when I talk about Flask, what we'll do, we'll talk about render template. What I will write, render template index.html. Okay, but I need to say in this file that while you are rendering, you take this base HTML as your head and foot. Okay, you need to say to this file, right? So how do I say that? So when I write, now this is my HTML page for base.html. Okay, here whatever content that I want within this, which is the static content, I'll write here. It is written here. Okay, it is written here. Then what I'll do, I'll write simply like this. Okay, block ABC. Anything you can put here, block ABC, and then you have to write it here, end block. Okay, so this page will know that, okay, there is some dynamic content which will come here, okay, between this part. Okay, now I need to say it in this page that whenever you get rendered, you take this as your template. Okay, so how will I do that? Let's say this is the page of, this is the index.html page, first page of index.html. Index.html. What I'll do, I don't need to worry about head and things like that. What I'll do, I'll simply write this same thing what I've written there. The main content, the dynamic content that is changing, that is written here, and then you write here, end block. So it's like a plug. Okay, this plug goes here. Okay, but I need to tell this file or this file that your main socket is here. If you are a plug, your socket is here. You need to tell this. So you need to simply write like this inside a file, extends base.html. Right, so this part comes here. So when this part renders, it will say, okay, you take some part from that base.html. Okay, put the content rendered, the dynamic content here, and render the entire page as a whole. Okay, so what you get is this.
Yes, sir.
So now what are you saving? The coding for this part for other remaining 99 pages. Got it?
Okay, okay. Yes, sir. The header
Now
and
we'll
the
go
footer
to,
is here.
yeah, now we'll go to the question.
Yes.
So you got the structure of this, right? So this layout.html, layout1.html, and layout2.html are having the these are actually two templates defined, two templates, base templates. Okay, and this test.html decides what to inherit. Okay, what it will inherit? This layout2.html. Okay, what is the dynamic content? Welcome to home. Okay, what is the now what is the template or base template that will be rendered? Whatever comes inside layout.html. Okay, and how do this file know that where do you place? So this file has to be taken inside and placed somewhere, right? How will it know where to go with this statement? Okay,
Okay.
so this file will open a socket. This will act as a plug, move there, and take this file and completely gets rendered. Now what is my complete file? This layout2.html plus this content. Okay, what is the content? Blue color. This is, it should have been, this is my blue template, but the text is not the concept here. Okay, so this is my blue template, this is my blue template, and welcome to home. So the entire page should look like this.
Got it, sir.
Right, so this is how we work with template inheritance. Okay, and you can see why others are wrong. Okay, next question, SQL. Any doubt in this question? Okay, so what we are doing, we are having two tables, that is instructors, that is having three fields: instructor ID, instructor name, and department name. and there is another table called departments, that is department name and building name. Okay, what we need to do is we need which of the following queries will list the names of those departments which have more than one instructor. Okay, something we have to do. Okay, I have done this before, so I have done it in the DB browser to see what it is actually showing. Can you see DB browser, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me maximize this. So if you see here, you'll see that there is one table called departments. If I browse data, you'll see that departments, right? So this is the same data that we have been using. Okay, same data. So English, mathematics, physics, chemistry, finance, and the building name. And there is other table called instructors. Okay, for some reason this is got null. Let me enter that data. Okay, so what is the data actually? It's Amit Dubey for physics 101. Okay, so this is actually okay, fine. Let me add this. So we are missing out on the last one. Thanks. We're having Amit Dubey, Sarthak Gaur, Neha Sharma, Sumit Kumar is missing. Okay, we'll add that here. Chemistry. Okay, leave it as is. Okay, so there's only one change. This both got interchanged. Okay, but the data also got interchanged. Okay, so this is one table, that is instructor. Okay, and the other table is departments. Okay, so we'll try to run SQL. Okay. Okay, we'll try to run SQL. I'll take from here itself. Okay, so if I run this, what is happening actually? We're selecting department name from departments, inner joining it on instructors such that on department.department name equals to instructor.department name, and then we're grouping by. Okay, but the problem is this department name from which department name you have to select. Okay, from which table, that is run. So what it says is ambiguous column department name. Okay, ambiguous column. Why? Because this department name has to be represent something like this: departments dot department name. Okay, departments dot department name. Now, so if I do that, departments dot department name, try to run this.
All are unique there.
Yeah, so this is running the query. Okay, so this has to be correctly written. Okay, in second question, what is happening? Okay, this is fine now. The only thing that changes is the where clause, because in the DB in the previous one we are having clause, but here we are having where clause. Okay, let's try and put that. And run. Okay, so it says that syntax error near where. Why is it saying like that? Because where clause will not be applied on like this. Like once you're grouping by is done before, right? And then you're using where clause. So you cannot use like that. Okay, group by is done on the final table. So you need to, I guess, if you use this where clause before grouping, let's see what happens.
I think you cannot use aggregate function on where clause.
Sorry.
Yes, where is always after group by.
Yeah. So again, it is a problem. So we are not using group by and where together. Okay. That is what is happening in option 2. And why we are getting correct in option 1 when we change this part. So this part is corrected. In option 1, we are getting correct answer because we are using group by and having. We cannot use group by and where together.
So, in the option one, you entered the departments, the department name. Can you delete the where and add the having?
Just a minute. Just a
Yes.
minute. Let me. Okay, what you're saying?
Instead of where, write the having.
Where exactly?
The where count star greater than zero.
Okay,
The line
where?
number
Where?
having.
Having.
Yeah. So now can you run the query?
That's what we did, right? This will
Yes,
run.
sir. Yes, sir. This is I'm asking that why is it coming English? Because in the department table, all the departments are, unique, na? We can, so it is the correct answer is coming, but it should not come.
Where exactly are you? How exactly are you saying that all departments are unique?
In the table two, there are English, math, physics, chemistry, and finance. So it should be instructors dot department name, the correct thing. Uh, so why is it coming the English?
Why is it coming English? Okay.
Because the correct query should be instructors dot department name, right? So that's why I'm asking.
As long as I can tell, see, once you are doing inner join, the row becomes same. Let's try this. See, same thing you're getting.
Yes, but in the instructor, I'm asking that in the instructor table, there are in department name column, there are two English. So it is taking that two English. So the count star is greater than one. It is okay, but in departments table, there are English is only one. I mean, only one instance of the English department.
Yeah, it is there, but once you join the inner join, this table content changes, right?
Okay, okay. Sorry, sir, got it.
Yeah, so this table this row, this column will become same for both the tables then.
Yes. Join
right?
is
And if
already
you
done.
also see the schema, we have nowhere defined that these parts are unique. Even if we define, doesn't matter, because once you are inner joining, the characteristics of the call or field doesn't hold. Right, this departments
Yes, sir,
dot
yes, sir.
depart name becomes instructor dot instructor name. They become same now.
Got it. Actually, I was wrongly visualized. So
Oh, okay.
that's
No
why the
issues.
problem.
Yeah. So this here, this is okay. Sorry, initially the tables, this instructor ID and department name were unique, but once you inner join them, the characteristics change, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that is what is happening. And in the third, let's see the third one. So this, so the correct answer, if you want to inner join, if you want to do inner join, the correct answer would be to use this part, departments dot department name, and you cannot use where, you should use having. Okay, so you'll get the same answer using the inner join. Now, what does this query say? Let us see that. So it gives the same thing. Why? Because see, if I want to find only that department which is having more than one instructor, okay, for one language, I don't even need this table departments, right? I don't even need that. So there is no point of inner join. I can simply use this table instructors and find that department name which is having more than one instructor, right? So there is no point of inner joining. That is why we are selecting department name from instructors directly. Okay, so this will also give the right answer. So taking both the tables into consideration and finding the right answer, you would use inner join with correct representation like this, departments or department name, and using having. But if your work is getting done by only one table, why do you even want to inner join? Okay, that was the idea. Yeah, so I hope this part is clear, right? This question.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. 15th question. Uh, okay. Select all from grocery. Order by toothpaste brand model number. Okay. So this order by will have its like precedence, right? So if toothpaste brand is written first, it will order all the records in the grocery table by the ascending order of toothpaste brand. Why ascending? Because ascending is by default. Okay. So if I go to, it will first sort the grocery table according to the column toothpaste brand. Okay. And then override it. No, that will not happen. Okay. So there is no point of writing both together if it was to override. I would have directly written order by model number. Okay. No point of writing toothpaste brand. Okay. So first is wrong. It will sort the toothpaste brand column and model number column independently and ascending. That is not possible, right? That is not practical. Solving, ordering single table on both two separate columns, unless the columns are exactly same. Okay. Third, it will sort the grocery table according to column toothpaste brand in ascending order. Fine. And then according to the model number, whenever the column toothpaste brand fields or for two or more rows are equal. Okay. So what does this mean is, let's say I'm having 10 entries in the grocery table. Okay. 10 entries, 3 toothpaste brands. Okay. And three models for two and 4 models for one. Are you getting the structure what I said just now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me show this again. Okay, so there is a table. Sorry, there's a table. Okay, it is having 10 entries. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In 10 entries. So here we'll have toothpaste brand and here we'll have model number. Okay, so first it will order the entire table with toothpaste brand. Okay, so let's say I have 3 toothpaste brands. Okay, so one is, let's say it's Colgate. Okay, so I'm talking about ordering what it will actually do. Okay, so Colgate, then we have Pepsodent, then any other Senso, whatever it is, 3. So 3. Okay. Okay, sensitive. Okay, so we have 4 sensitive, 3 Pepsodent and 3 Colgate. Okay, now once this is done, this is ordering with respect to toothpaste brand. Now let me see, ABC and then PQRS. Okay, so this is proper ordering. Okay, and then if this is, let's say it starts with A, okay, and then it starts with B, and then it starts with C. So something, then it will order each one within Colgate brand in the order of model number. Okay, so if I'm having something like A in Pepsodent, it will not come here. Okay, because A and then B should come, right? But it will not come here, it will come here.
If it was the ordering only on toothpaste brand, then the order might be CB, CB, CA, CC. That can
correct. So
but
these will have 3 more, total 3 possibilities, right? ABC, BCA, ACs, anything. Okay, again similarly it would have 3 possibilities, and this would have how many? 4C3 more possibilities, right?
yes, and if we put both ordering, then it will
Not
render
actually
CA,
4C3, 4 factorial. Okay, yeah, so that's what. But we are again ordering within the ordered. Right? So consider this as one different table. consider this as one different table, and consider this as one different table, and you forget about this thing. It will then individual ordering will happen here, from here to here, from here to here. Okay, but now if I had this model number also had, let's say, let's say what we can say, ID, some more ID. Okay, this model number would also have ID as a different column. And if I had added toothpaste brand, model number, ID, order by, then again in each of this part, again ordering will happen here, right? So this is how ordering goes. So you order the all the records from the very first, then within, then within. This is how it happens. Okay. Yeah, so I hope this part is clear. Any doubt in this question? I guess not. Okay, so if there is, just ask me. Okay, so this is how you do ordering. Next is, okay, so which of the following option is correct regarding the following code? Okay, so what is happening? We are defining style, and we have defined the stylings for each class that we have given. Okay, this I class, class 1, class 2. So this class 1, class 2, what it will do, it will create two separate classes. Okay, for this P element, it will create two separate classes. Okay, and both the class will define this class P only, or this element P only. Okay, so if I'm so what is happening here, actually the class 1 defines the color should be red, and class 2 says the font weight should be bold. Now since this both class 1 and class 2 are classes of P only, both the stylings will be applied. Okay, nothing gets overridden. It will only get overridden if I had defined class 2 and then I had written color colon blue. Okay, so what would happen? It would then, the red would get overridden by the blue, but both are different attributes, right? Both are different styles, so both will be applied. That is the reason, if you go to option, the color of the text inside P will tag will be red and the font will not be bold, so we'll go with both, right? The font side in the text will be bold and color will be red. I guess this one. Yeah, so both will be applied to this text. All right, so this is the correct answer. Yeah, so this is probably an easier question. Anything else you want to ask within this? Any probable combination?
Sir, like there are hundreds of CSS properties and this thing. So should we know all, or just like basic things like what are discussed in the graded assignments and practice assignments? These are enough.
Yeah, so the thing is, see, we cannot say you at this point, nobody can say that you should know these many and you should not know that many. Why do you want to limit that? The more you practice, the more attributes you'll get. But see, some things like color, font weight, background color, border radius, all right, things like that are something that we deal with in every project that we make. Everything, every HTML file, every CSS styling, there are certain things that we apply to each, that are applied to each and every document as a whole. So you don't get short with those attributes. See, we cannot figure out what should I learn, what I should not learn, but you can definitely spend time in figuring out what are frequently used attributes. Okay, frequently used attributes.
Okay, okay, sir.
All right, so things like font weight, font, then background, border color, border weight, style, border style, color, right? Border radius. These are certain things which are sufficient for creating any proper, aesthetically pleasing site or website. But do not limit yourself that I should know this much only. The more you practice, the more number of attributes you'll know. But there are certain, if you go through each and everything like screencast, okay, then solve with instructor session, there is certain set of attributes that you have used that will be common to all the sessions. Okay, so those are certain things that you need to know. Okay, now there were questions about how to give a styling without CSS. Don't have to worry about it. CSS is there, study CSS. It was only the requirement of assignment. Okay, in question it won't be, you know, something like that. Okay, do it only by HTML. No, that won't happen, because we want you know, we want to cope with the technology and not limit ourselves. So that is the idea. Okay, I hope this part is clear, right? We dealt with all the 16 questions, in some in detail, some in very superficial manner, but I hope these are clear to you all. Okay.
Yes, sir. So can you just cover those week one questions, especially those questions of numericals of time, bits, size, all of that, quick revision of.
I've taken a separate session on that, right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So see, let's see, this is the front end. Let me see. Just a minute. Yeah. So in supplementary content, you see solve with instructor source code, right? Yeah. So you download it. You will be directed to a drive which will have everything. So it is having all the codes from week 2 to 4, and week 1 is the slide. Okay, so it will have the printed solution for all. See, whatever I've taught, these will cover all the numerical aspect of week 1.
Okay.
Okay, so the questions that will come will not be same definitely, but will be a build up on this. Okay.
Yes.
So you go through this slide. If not, if anything from this part is not clear, you can refer to week 1 solve with instructor session.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Okay. Yeah, so I guess this part is clear, right? Everyone is clear with whatever I've said. Clear with mock part. Yeah, so you can expect this type of
Yes, sir.
questions. Some a bit, some easier than these questions, some a bit tricky. Okay, it will come from all the parts, like rest beginning, like starting from week 1 to week 4. You know, do not consider any topic as you know, a lightweight. All are equally important. The syllabus is designed in a way that we don't want to take those which are not important. So every lecture, every session, every concept that has been cleared as far as practice questions and graded questions are concerned, please go through those questions. That will give you a lot more insights. Okay, please refer to screencast video and refer to solve with instructor sessions, refer to sir's lecture for theoretical aspect. All right. Yeah, and whatever you are learning, try to learn practically. Okay, try to solve, keep typing on your notebook. Okay, it will not happen by simply reading. So that is the thing that I would say. Okay, lastly, a very best of luck. Okay, best wishes for tomorrow's exam. Okay, so we'll discuss the answers to questions that will come in quiz after the quiz, definitely. All right.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Yeah, sure.
So the CSS properties, right? There are huge number of properties. Now, how do we try to get practice on all of them? Should we just go through all the properties, try one by one, or is there some template that we can think about, and then what is the best way to practice all these? I know there are a lot of things when it comes to practice, but how do we go about starting and getting used to all of these? What is the best approach?
Yeah. So the thing is, see, we ourselves would not you know, leave it out, if you all out in the open. Okay, so we have given CSS as the syllabus, you should know each and everything of that. No, that won't happen. That's what I said a few minutes back, right? So we have referred to certain screencasts. Okay, solve with instructor sessions, and every practical session, if you observe, there are certain number of attributes which remain same throughout the sessions. Okay, among the sessions, in fact. Okay, so you need to focus on those attributes. Okay, one or two will be out of your scope, that is okay. But if you go about CSS and you don't know about things like border radius, then that does not make sense, right? Because that has been covered. Okay, and you need to thoroughly go through the lectures, see what you can do around that. Okay, you don't have to expand your field with CSS attributes and I should know all. No, don't, that will not worry. If at all there is a attribute that you are not familiar with and that comes in the question statement, the arrangement of the question statement, the arrangement of options will let you know what it is actually doing. See, for example, if you go to this question number, this template inheritance, right? So there may be people who have not done anything with template inheritance. But if you read these three code properly, and if you have a look at option, you will see that something is happening and this part is getting clubbed with this part. Okay, so options by themselves are very important, not only for you to mark them as correct, but also to give you an idea of what is question trying to say. Okay, especially in CSS it will happen, especially in CSS, because let's say if we go to the last question. Okay, so this question is based on CSS. Here it is a textual part, but in most of the question you will be given the rendered output as the options. So rendered output of the option will be a good reflection of what each thing or each attribute must be doing. Okay, so if at all, so this question comes when you are not aware of the attribute that is given in the question. Okay, if you are aware, and there will be not many attributes that 9 out of 10 attributes will not be like that you are not aware. 1 out of 10 will be something that you are not aware, haven't seen before. Okay, so we have taken care of that. Yeah, so that is what the idea is. So
yeah,
what
means
yeah,
for me, like from a quiz perspective, I think that's a good explanation. Now beyond the quiz, like for our own understanding, what is the best way to work with the
for your own for your own understanding, what I do is, let's say I open a new file, I go to okay, I have written beautiful spelling wrong. Okay, beautiful websites. Okay, now I've selected, I'll select one of it. This is just an image. Okay, but I'll get some insights from this image as to these icons look like they are floating on the background. Okay, this looks like, okay, this is a very wide, so if I open this image, okay, so it becomes smaller, leave it. Okay, so if I open, if this image is visible to you,
yeah, image is visible,
yeah. So what I do is, there may be some styling involved in this page, right? So what I do is I don't go to the styling. I try to bring this styling from my own. Okay, so this, let's say this icon. So if this is not only circle, but the color within the circle is having some shades. Okay, then I'll try to find how to give shades in CSS. Okay.
Okay. So we just go by some existing websites.
So it largely depends on what you want to create.
Okay. Because sometimes we don't have any idea what is the best aesthetics for a given look and feel. Right?
That's what. So that's why I have not given you anything that will directly give you the templates, because that will not serve the purpose.
Okay.
An image in front of you will let you know, okay, these things are floating. Let me see how to make things float. Okay, so if you see this image, whatever things I'm seeing here are not completely opaque. Okay. Right. So let me see how to make these things a bit translucent.
Okay.
So that is what I follow generally.
So by repeating the same process, at a point of time we'll be able to quickly identify which attributes.
And then at the end of the day, if you let's say at the end of 10 days, you went on creating 10 different stylings. Okay, 10 different aesthetically pleasing websites. Find out the common attributes from them. What does that mean? These common attributes are something that I might use for most of my other websites also.
Okay.
So that is how you get idea of most common or most known expected attributes of CSS. And that is for your own understanding, right?
So, and here also, if you see, we have plain CSS and then we have frameworks like Bootstrap, right? So that confusion comes. Should I go with plain CSS or should I just use a framework and then do something? How do you decide on that?
See, Bootstrap is definitely really good, but again, that's what I said. Again, it is giving you the templates.
Okay.
You will never understand what exactly is happening within the CSS. Your purpose as far as this working of site or look of site will be served, but how do you bring that look will not be served. Okay, and then again, you don't need to go through the entire attributes because there are hundreds.
Yeah, correct. Means the challenge comes from where do I start? So this is
So we at some point decide like what should be the limit of attributes that I should know.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir. Can you just show that solve with us instructor drive once again? I'm not able to find it.
Okay, it is so this is your this is the portal that you see.
Yep.
In the mock, in the supplementary contents, there is solve with instructor source code.
Is it visible for everyone? Because okay, I got it.
Yeah, it was. I posted it yesterday itself.
Okay. I think my site just reloaded.
Okay, yeah. So so after this session, I will also upload a file along with the solution for this mock. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess that will help, right? And that is it for today, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, so probably that will
Thank you,
help
sir.
in. Yeah, all right. So best of luck for tomorrow's test then, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.